Hi, team. Here is the Friday poll question at smirconish.com. Was James Comey's 8647 social media post a threat to President Trump? First, let me thank my friends at Parks Casino and Play Gun Lake, New York, Philadelphia, Detroit baseball, plus the Pro Golf Tour, MMA fights, pro hoops, hockey playoffs. It's an exciting time of year. You can live bet it all, wager and watch. Live betting is better on the BetParks app in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Maryland. And on the Play Gun Lake app in Michigan, bet individual player performances in baseball, like player hits, home runs, RBIs, strikeouts, points, rebounds, and more for pro hoops as well. So it hardly matters whether your team wins or loses in the end. There's so many prop bets, as I like to say, all along the way that make it a lot of fun. There's always another way to win on the BetPark Sportsbook and online casino app and Play Gun Lake as well. The only apps that I ever use and recommend, all the fun stuff right in the palm of your hand. You can play with live dealers, by the way, or play solo from wherever you are. Blackjack, roulette, craps, poker, hot online slots, they've got them all. Cleopatra, Cash Eruption, 88 Fortune. Check it all out. Go to the betparks.com or playgunlake.com and download the apps right now and enjoy all the action and excitement right in your hand. You've got to be 21 and in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, or Maryland for the BetParks app. You've got to be 21 and in Michigan for Play Gun Lake. You love to play. You play to win. Go have some fun. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Well, thank you, everybody, for the 37,235 votes yesterday on the Thursday poll question at smirconish.com. That's a lot of voting for a Thursday. What were people responding to? They were responding to this. Should citizenship be automatically granted to those born in the United States to parents who are in the country illegally or temporarily? 58.3% said yes, citizenship should apply even if the parents are here illegally or temporarily. 41.7% said no, that should not be the case. Pretty interesting result. The primary issue, this of course all relates to yesterday's Supreme Court argument. The primary issue before the court is whether lower court judges can issue what are known as universal injunctions to block an order, an executive order by a president nationwide. There are about 700 district court judges. And the real issue in this case, and I think they're going to sidestep birthright citizenship. The real issue is whether any one of those roughly 700 district court judges can stop the enforcement of an executive order. And that's a hard issue because you've heard the expression forum shopping. You know, if you have an issue of national significance and a legal effort to try and stop whatever it is a president is seeking to do. And by the way, today it's President Trump, but don't base your decision on Trump because his time will come and go, and then there'll be somebody else who follows him, and you might have a reverse perspective. But whether any one of those individuals should be able to hold up an executive order. And that's the real issue, but it is in the context of an executive order about birthright citizenship. So the birthright citizenship clause of the Constitution is what people are debating in this instance, and what I'm spending a lot of time focused on as well. I'm talking about the 14th Amendment, Section 1, quote, all persons born or naturalized in the United States, keywords now, and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and the state wherein they reside. And the Trump administration, with a novel legal theory, I talked all about it yesterday. Danny Savalos and I had a good conversation on air talking about it. The Trump administration says, well, it's really about allegiance. The Trump administration says that children whose parents are in the country temporarily or without proper documentation are not subject to the political jurisdiction of the U.S. because they define that as owing an allegiance to the United States, simply different than being required to follow our laws. And, proponents of this say, hey, this is what makes us unique because we're a melting pot. It's a cornerstone of what it means to be an American because we're open to everybody, regardless of faith or color or creed. I pointed out yesterday that of the world's 20 most developed countries, only Canada and the United States grant automatic citizenship. The lead story today in the newsletter, when you get your newsletter and open it up, it's from Amy Howitt's SCOTUS blog. I'll give you just one paragraph from what she said, because I think that she's such a good arbiter and reporter of what goes on in the Supreme Court. Quote, the Supreme Court on Thursday was divided over whether a federal judge has the power to block President Donald Trump's executive order ending birthright citizenship while the case moves through the lower courts. The Trump administration told the justices it should be able to at least partly implement the order, although several justices in recent years have expressed skepticism about so-called nationwide injunctions, which bar the government from enforcing a law or anywhere in the country during more than 2 hours of oral arguments. Key part, it was not clear whether a majority of the justices were ready to bar such injunctions altogether. What do I think? I think they want to stop the injunction ability, but they don't want to necessarily greenlight what Trump is seeking to do relative to birthright citizenship. And you know my view on this. My view is that there's a legitimate conversation to be had about birthright citizenship, but not the way Trump is seeking to do it, by dismantling the Constitution through executive order. You want to get rid of, here, I'll say it more simply. You want to get rid of birthright citizenship, and I understand the sentiment if you do. Then do it by changing the Constitution. We have a lawful means of doing so. It's not by executive order. Okay. Today's poll question, the Friday poll question at smerconish.com. It's funny. I made the decision last night that this was what I was going to do. And then I woke up early this morning and I'm like, is that the right poll question? I know it's going to be lopsided. And I'm seeing all of the debate about this issue. And I'm like, yeah, that's the right poll question. Was James Comey's 8647 social media post a threat to President Trump? I'm going to tell you right off the bat, it was stupid. It's not something that a former FBI director should do. But if you were, walking down the beach in Ocean City and you did what he did, I don't think there's going to be an issue. But you know what Trump is all about? I am your retribution. Do you remember those words? So here's a fun, I hope, exercise. I wondered, where does 86 come from? And I relied on chat, and I relied on Google. I relied on my fingers to do a search and try and come up with the answer. It's not exactly clear. The term 86 has a rich history and is often used in American slang to mean get rid of or to cancel. The origins are murky. Restaurant lingo. One of the most popular theories is that 86 originated from the restaurant industry in the 1930s, where it was used to indicate that an item was out of stock. The Prohibition era. Another theory is that during Prohibition, bartenders would use 86 to warn that the police were coming, based on the address of a speakeasy located at 86 Bedford Street in New York City. I like that one. How about military usage? Some suggest it comes from military shorthand used during World War II, where 86 was a code for cancel mission. Once I went down the 86 rabbit hole, now I'm thinking about other numbers that have meaning, have significance, have something that pops into our mind. Ready for some of them? Okay. 420. 420. Widely recognized as code for cannabis culture, stemming from a group of California high school students. I remember doing a radio segment on this. Do you know the origin of 420? We did this. It's been a couple of years, but it was one particular group of California high school students in the 70s who would meet at 4:20 in the afternoon to smoke pot. And there it is. Like, everything else from California, the hula hoop, the Beach Boys, Van Halen, it's like, it goes to the rest of the country. Speaking of California, here's another one. 5150. The number refers to the Welfare and Institutions Code for an involuntary psychiatric hold, often used to describe someone as mentally unstable. This one I did not know. 23, associated with the 23 Enigma, a belief in the significance of the number due to its frequent appearance in various contexts, popularized by authors like Robert Anton Wilson. I don't know. 666, that one I know, the number of the beast, the book of Revelation in the Bible, often associated with the devil or bad luck. Okay, I added one of my own. 0.0. A Blutarsky, Animal House, nothingness, right? One, the number one, everybody wants to be one. Pi, 3.14. Got it. I can tell you that it's pi. If you ask me now, what exactly does pi represent? I have no idea. Here's another one I did not know. The 6. And the 6 is associated with Toronto. We have a lot of listeners in Canada. We have a lot of listeners and callers from Toronto. I love Toronto. I was there last year. Beautiful city, by the way. You feel like you're in Europe. Not that there's anything wrong with feeling like you're in Canada, but you feel like you're in Canada by way of Europe. Anyway, where does the 6 come from? Apparently, it comes from Drake, the rapper, Kendrick Lamar and Drake and that whole back and forth. And it's a reference to 2 area codes overlapping in Toronto, or so I read. Number 7 is the lucky number. Number 8, infinity, when turned sideways. That was new to me. 13, an unlucky number. Reminds me, by the way, that it is kind of funny, isn't it? To tell you how seriously we take these things. My first apartment was 1413. And one day it occurred to me, going up on the elevator, wait a minute, I'm in 1313, like 1313 Mockingbird Lane. But people are so superstitious about these things that buildings don't have 13th. Well, they have 13th floors, but they just skip them. 18, the adult status. 21, the drinking age. 23, somebody, anybody, Bueller. Michael Jordan's jersey number. 24/7, all the time. 33, master number in numerology. 42, the answer to life, the universe, and everything. That comes from Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. 50, a half-century milestone. 66, I think, Route 66. 69, mutual pleasure is what chat told me. It's funny. The rule of 72, that's apparently I'm going through all the numbers. The rule of 72, a financial rule of thumb to estimate how long an investment takes to double. 86, we just had that conversation. 99, almost complete. That's it. All right, that's all I got. All right, Michael, why are we talking about this? We're talking about this because former FBI Director James Comey took down an Instagram post of seashells spelling out the numbers 8647. And now Republicans say that's a threat against President Trump. For example, Don Jr., just James Comey casually calling for my dad to be murdered, he said. In explaining why he removed the post, the former FBI director said that he had posted an earlier picture of some shells I saw today on a beach walk. I wondered when I saw the story and I saw the image, did he repurpose somebody else's? But apparently he saw it and he took it. Did he make them? We don't know. I guess, he would have told us, maybe not. I posted a picture earlier of some shells I saw today on a beach walk, which I assumed were a political message. I didn't realize some folks associate those numbers with violence. It never occurred to me, but I oppose violence of any kind, so I took the post down. Okay, it was boneheaded. It was stupid. Do I see a crime here? I do not. And I think it's just going to provide great fodder because now you've got Kristi Noem, the Homeland Security Secretary, posting herself and saying DHS and the Secret Service are now investigating. Come on, seashells, we get it. Bad judgment. Kash Patel getting in on the action as well. In another online post, the current director of the FBI, Kash Patel, said that he was aware of Comey's post and he would provide support to the Secret Service. We are aware of the recent tweet by former FBI Director James Comey. We are in communication with the Secret Service and its director. Primary jurisdiction is with the Secret. I mean, are they going to go out and interview Comey on this? Comey helmed the FBI during its investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 election. And of course, the whole Hillary email controversy and the mishandling in that instance. I mean, do I have to say this again? The FBI was justified in investigating attempts at Russian manipulation of our election. Every once in a while, I feel like I have to remind people there was Russian manipulation of our election. There wasn't involvement by the Trump campaign, according to the investigation. But when the president today speaks of, the Russian debacle, he acts as if it didn't occur. But It did occur. Anyway, you remember that. Obviously, you remember that. Then you had Tulsi Gabbard last night, going on Fox with Jesse Waters and saying that this is a serious offense. I think my buddy Ellie Honig then came on later on CNN and said it was stupid, but it's not a crime. This is the point I want to make. I want to make this point. Trump is playing hardball. He is playing hardball. This has now become like a loyalty oath sort of thing with his cabinet members. So Kash Patel at FBI, Tulsi Gabbard in intelligence, Kristi Noem at Homeland Security. They're all going to, and I'm sure we're going to hear from Pam Bondi. In fact, she's probably already spoken on this issue because he demands that they all weigh in on something like this. That's the loyalty that he is thinking he's owed by each of these individuals. And remember what he told us. I think it was at CPAC a year ago. I am your retribution. He is playing hardball and trying to settle scores. Letitia James, the attorney general in New York, responsible for that prosecution of Donald Trump in the payoff case. She's now under a federal investigation. The claim that she falsified paperwork for properties that she owns in Virginia and New York. So Letitia James and now Comey, and I'm sure if there's anything that anybody can find relative to Jack Smith, that will be investigated as well. He thinks, the president, that lawfare was used against him. And in some circumstances, for reasons I've articulated over a long period of time, I agree with him. But this is wrong. To investigate Comey, I think, is a waste of resources. And as our mothers all told us, 2 wrongs don't make a right. 2 wrongs don't make a right. What number do you have? What number did I miss? I'll be curious to hear what you have to say. The Friday poll question was James Comey's 8647 social media post a threat to President Trump? That is the Friday poll question. Please like and subscribe and set yourself up for notifications. I can't wait to read all of the numbers that have been posted that I forgot. I'm going to do that now. Like and subscribe, set yourself up for notifications, and please vote on the Friday poll question. Thanks, everybody.